Praise God. So, 3 very important points I want us to take note of. 3 very important points. Are we moving together? Are we moving together? Okay. 3 very important points. Number 1, your accomplishments in life is not going to be a product of a single event. See, at the end of time, we want to now look at your accomplishments in life. It's not going to be a product of a single event. Your accomplishment in life is a combination of the different activities, the different things you have learned, the different experiences you've been through, the different decisions you've made, and the different actions that you have taken. It is a combination of all that makes for your accomplishment at the end of time. So, it's not for you to sit down and say, okay, I have passion for business. I have great ideas. And from all the analysis I've done, if I have 10 million, I will do great things. And then so I'll be waiting for that break. That break, that's the point of purpose for me. Amen? No. The things you are doing today, the things you will do tomorrow, the things you did yesterday, it's a combination of all that will make for who you will be tomorrow. That will make for how much you would have delivered on your assignment tomorrow. Are we together? Now, it is to that effect that we must know that our actions every day, in as much as, say today you wake up and you have some tasks ahead of you. I want to do this and that, A, B, and C. Now, by the end of today, you may have completed A, B, and C. But know that the value of this A, B, and C, although completed today, is going into tomorrow, next tomorrow, 50 years to come, 100 years to come. And that's why some people come to a point in their life and they say, there's one event 15 years ago. I wish I handled it differently. So what you will be tomorrow, so the time you need to start taking giving very important attention to your daily activities is now, because everything is combining and cumulating into what you will be tomorrow, into what you will deliver tomorrow. And so, for instance, you hear people like Bishop Ividipo, they are speaking today, and they're telling you of something that happened, of a decision that they made, of something that they read, of an experience that they had 1983, 1981. You hear that the Adeboye giving you one testimony, and he's making reference to some years back. Everything you will become tomorrow, everything you will accomplish tomorrow is a product of all your activities, all your experiences, all the decisions you've made, and all the things that you've learned over time in life. So you must take every day important, and you must take every day seriously. In fact, Jesus Christ was speaking, he said that for every idle word, when you hear every, there is an emphasis on every component of the thing that is being talked about. Are we together? So what you are doing today, yes, you have passion for. I didn't go into the whole definition of purpose, how to identify purpose, because I believe it's already everywhere. We know all that. But having this understanding, I believe, will help us better. We'll still come to that a bit if we have time. Praise God. So now, tomorrow, let's say you have passion for something. You've discovered that God has called you into the academics, for example, and you have passion for, you like reading, you have a quick memory, you can understand things, you can share knowledge. In fact, there are some people that if they teach you, you will understand more than they understand. Do you get? There are some people that you wonder, how do you become wiser than your teachers? How do you become wiser than your teachers? Because you have known more than them. But who taught you they? Because it's straight. He said, I have become wiser than my teachers. Not that, he didn't make reference to books that I read that my teachers did not read. Are we together? He said, I have become, the authority he's making reference to is his teachers. So it's what they know, they have taught me. But I have become wiser than them. One reason is because they have an anointing, or they have been called to teach. So they can even make you know what they don't know. So that's why you should not underestimate some of these public speakers. No. There's this culture now. Some people say, you just come. Is it not just to come and talk? You, let me see. Is it showing in your life? No. Most times it will not show in their lives. But they can tell you, and if you apply, it will show more in your life. Praise God. Second point. The worth of your accomplishment in life The worth of your accomplishment in life is not going to be measured by the size of your accomplishment. It is going to be measured by the value of your accomplishment and whether or not it is in line with divine expectation. We began this session by making the most important reference. It is He that has created us, and not we ourselves. We are His people and the sheep of His pastures. Yes, it is true that we have all been called into business, but nobody can tell you that it is the height you attain in business that I am supposed to attain. The only person that can tell you that is the person that created the both of us and our job descriptions. Are we together? So, there was one of the presentations, somebody said there's no competition in purpose or something, and that made a lot of sense to me. There's no competition. There's no competition. When you want to compare two people, you need a standard to compare two of them. His description is different from his description. How then do you want to compare them? And what did Paul say? Paul said, who are you to judge another man's servant? It's before his master he rises or falls. The only person that has the perfect description is him. And he is therefore the only person that can say whether he has attained 80% or 2%. Surprisingly, most of you are elder ones, you have younger ones, you have children, you have choir members under you and all that. You know your investment in your choir members. Let me use that for instance. And you know the capacity of your individual choir members. There is the expectation you have from this soprano singer and there's the expectation you have from this soprano singer. If this soprano singer that is doing very well, as it were, begins to say, this other one that is not doing very well, they are saying she's doing fine. So let me to relax. The day you come, let's say this other one is on level 6 and you are on level 9. The day you come to level 7, your director will tell you, you are not working. Stand up, go to the back. And you begin to wonder, this is partiality. This other person is not doing like me. No! You have different grades. There's a difference between how he views you and how he views that one. He has understood that the capacity of this person is not up to 9. So it will be foolishness for me to expect this person to deliver at 9. However, your capacity is 9. If you deliver at 7, you are underperforming. Are we together? So, the worth is not going to be, so as I said, the worth of your accomplishment is not going to be determined by the size of your accomplishment. Yes, she's delivering at 9, but that's her capacity and that's what I expect of her, 100%. If you deliver at 6, which is your capacity and what I expect from you, how much will I give you? 100%. Are we together? Now, number 2, still into value. Before, I don't like people asking me for things. And there are many people like that. They don't like people asking them for things. That even if they want to give you something, if you open your mouth and ask, they'll just keep it. They prefer to just give you because they want to give you. Not because you are asking. But I realized that 100 naira for my brother, when he is asking me for 100 naira, is worth more than 10,000 when he is not even looking for 10,000. Do you understand? Today, what he's asking for is 100 naira. Bros, please, I need 100 naira. And I'm like, there's no 100 naira for you. Then tomorrow, I'm now passing. I see him. I say, hey, now he's not asking me. Let me give him 10,000. And I'll give him 10,000. I collect to say thank you. Now, today, I don't know how much he has. It's possible he has 50,000 in his pocket. It's possible this 10,000 I gave him, he may just even look at another person and give the person. So, the value he will place on what I give him is not going to be determined by how much I've given him, but the need he has at the moment I'm giving him what he's asking for. So, what you do, the value of what you do, the value of your activities are much more important than how much of the activity you have. For instance, look at the woman, the woman that gave, how much did she give during the offering? The widow's mite. What she gave compared to the size of what the other people gave was not anything significant. But Jesus said this person gave more. Because it is being viewed in the context of what you have and in the context of the need that you are doing that thing to fulfill. Praise God. So, you must be highly intentional about the things you do. And you must ensure that you deliver where there is a need, because that is where it will be valued. Another good example, when I was coming here today, I was hoping that I'll start with a song. But I did not know the song that would really fit into how I felt in my spirit, even when I sat here. But when we now turned, I think Brother Fortune said we should greet people, and we turned, I saw Steve. As I just saw him, that song just came back. The day I saw that song on WhatsApp, I think he distributed it. From that day, I've loved that song. And that song is so in line with what I'm saying. So what if I told Steve, and Steve says, I don't feel like singing that song today. I may come up here and I may sing it. But you see, the connection that what he did gave me by doing what he did, I will not be able to achieve it any other way. Are we together? So you have certain skills. You're already working in the area of your purpose. You're already developing yourself one way or the other. Don't say, let me wait. I have not reached the level I want to reach before I deliver. When you have noticed a need and the ability you have at this point can do something, go ahead and do it. Because that is when it will be most valuable. I don't want you to come and encourage me when I don't need encouragement. When you have now read all the books on encouragement, I want to encourage him when I've been able to have a lot of references to quote. Now I've not really read any book. Let me go and read books. Then come. The time you are read and you are now coming to encourage me, another person has encouraged me because I'm God's child. So one way or the other, he will find a way to say to me, now that you have gone to read all your books and you are coming, it's not of no value. Are we together? Praise God. The third thing, in the final analysis, it is not going to be about how much impact you have made. It sounds contradicting, right? It's not going to be about how much impact you have made. It's going to be about whether or not this impact you have made is in line with divine expectation. It is going to be about whether or not this impact you have made is in line with divine expectation. Matthew chapter 25, from verse 14 to 30, we read that parable of the 3 servants. Remember that parable of the 3 servants that were given 5 talents, 2 talents, and 1. Are we together? All right, so the Lord came back. The guy that had 5 brought back 5. The guy that had 2 brought back 2 more. Then listen to the 3rd servant. I think in verse 24, 25, he said, Master, I know that you are a hard man who wants to reap where he has not sown. I was afraid of losing this 1 talent, and so I went to hide it. So now that you have come back, this is your 1 talent. Sir, you're a businessman. Instead of losing your money, won't you prefer to break even? Instead of losing your money, at least let me have my capital. Do you get? And listen to the 3rd servant. So you see, the 3rd servant did something good, as it were. I was afraid. I was not sure of making returns, of making profit. In fact, I did not even think, I thought I would even lose it. And so because of that, I know how demanding you are on profit. I know you are a hard man who wants to see profit. And so because of that, I went to hide it. At least nothing will happen to it. I'm not sure of adding to it, but at least let it not go. So now that you have come, take your capital. I mean, is that not good enough? No, honestly, those of you who do business, is that not good enough? Right? Do you get? He didn't lose it. So your investment was not lost. It's just that you didn't make profit. Worst case, you would have lost it. And so he didn't lose it. However, he said, you are a wicked servant. What is he stressing? Yes, you have done good. But this good you have done is not in line with my expectation. Are we together? You have done good, right? You believe you have done good. You have explained your goodness. But young man, it is not in line with my expectation. Miles Muro one day gave a story. He said, let's assume you came to his house, and then he was about to go out. And he says, please, clean the floor before I come back. I think there's one Shiloh we attended, I give the illustration. Please, clean the floor before I come back. So he now goes out. And you come into the kitchen and you just suddenly realize that the dishes are very dirty. And you say, okay, no, I'm using it the other way around. No, he says, do the dishes. And you now come and you realize that, the floor is very dirty. And so you say, okay, let me do the floor. And so you just go, you get the mop, you get the broom, you get everything, and you sweep the floor, and you're probably singing praise and worship while you're doing that. You mop the floor, you do everything just with joy, excitement, that yes, you're doing something. And then he now comes back. And then he now comes into the kitchen, and then certainly opening the door, the first thing he will see is the floor. And he's now seeing that for the first time, he can see his floor sparkling. And he's like, wow, this is wonderful. But now, raising his head, he now sees the dishes the way he left them. And Miles Morrow said, you would have done a good thing, but you did not do the right thing. Praise God. So it is not just that you have been able to reach out in your sphere of influence, in your sphere of ministry. And you already know when we talk of ministry, if yours is to be driving, that's your ministry. If yours is to be doing retail, that's your ministry. Some people, when they go into business, they think, okay, I'll start with a retail shop, I'll become a wholesaler, and I'll become a major distributor and all that. You don't know that there are some people, it's just retail they do. And they are billionaires. Just retail. So they've identified that this is where I've been called. I have this sense, I have this thing on identifying how to sell things to final consumers. And so I develop strategy, I do everything. I position the shop here, I position the shop here, I position the shop here. I even add internet service. You can call us, we can deliver to your house. Small things, not big things. Small things. In fact, was it Warren Buffett? He says he doesn't like to invest in big things. So automobile, all those big things, jet companies and the rest, he doesn't like to invest in. He just says, hey, Coca-Cola, that you buy 100 naira. He wants to buy shares in Coca-Cola. He likes to invest in small things. So there are some people that they've identified that. And they've given their attention to that. And they are making maximum impact. Now, if the degree of impact you are making in that field is not in line with divine expectation, what would happen is, at the end of time, you see, please, let us never forget that the trumpet will soon sound. And when the trumpet sounds, I think, let's use this illustration. Let's say you are 40 years old. Do you know that in 1 hour, you can describe your 40 years as much as you can remember? In 1 hour, you can summarize it. So even if you live for 200 years, you see that 200 years, right? It can be put together in a few minutes or in a few hours. But even if we will have to describe your 200 years in 200 years, you cannot compare 200 years with eternity. Eternity, no end. You should fear missing the rapture. You should fear it. So just as making impact is very important, meeting Jesus is very important. So that's why you must make impact, which is what he's asking you to do. And you must make impact in line with his expectation so that you can enter. Because if it is not in line with his expectation, as we started, if you say, I am your Lord, I should be able to see it in your compliance to my instructions. But if you say, I am your Lord, and you don't even know what I want, how can you? It doesn't fit. It doesn't follow. It doesn't follow. Now, some of you who are very good fans of Daddy Adeboye, has he ever come to meet you to tell you, these are the things I want. These are the things I don't want. Has he ever met you? No. But if I ask you to tell me the things he likes and the things he doesn't like, you'll be able to tell me. Because once you pick an interest in someone, once you've committed yourself to someone, you just open all your mind to observe, to learn, to identify what the person wants and what the person doesn't want. And you go ahead with a commitment to ensure that you are always doing the things that will please the person. Are we together? So let that our sense of commitment, let it stay, because Jesus is coming soon. And according to this third point, it's not going to be just about how much you have done. It's not just going to be about how much you have achieved for him. It's also going to be about whether or not it's in line. Remember those people, we say, not everybody that says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter my kingdom. For in that day, many will come to me and say, in your name, we casted out devils. We laid hands on the sick and they recovered. That's impact. Is that not impact? It was in his name. It was not in Babalao's name. But he said, I'll say, go away, you workers of iniquity. I do not know you. Is it possible that Jesus does not know anybody? Is it possible that Jesus does not know anybody? So when he says, I don't know you, what it means is there's no relationship. There's no, yes, you were doing it, but when Moses, God told him, speak to the rock, he struck the rock. Did water come out or not? But was that action in line with divine expectation? No. Praise God. So when you listen to all these principles, you read books and all these principles on maximizing your purpose, if you apply them, most of them will work most of the time. But that they are working doesn't mean that you are on the right path now. You have to be careful. Because in as much as we're stressing the fact that you must fulfill purpose, identify your area and learn, stay on it. Brother Fortune spoke a lot about that. Just associate and do a whole lot to ensure that you are meeting needs. As we're saying that, truly, there are billionaires that are not Christians, for God's sake. There are billionaires. There are people doing great in different areas of their endeavors that are not Christians. Are people doing great in medicine? Are people doing great in academics? Are people doing great in business? Are people doing great in mechanics and all that are not born again? So if you apply these principles, they can work. They can work. You will have impact. But if it is not in line with divine expectation, if your operations are not in line with divine expectation, if you had to cheat this person, you had to kill this person, you had to rob this person somehow because you could not just be patient to follow certain things that the Lord was laying in your heart to get there, you may get there. But by the time he gets here, you will not get there. And going there, brothers and sisters, is very important. Very, very important.